What's up guys, CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now, where we'll get you caught up on all the biggest news from around the entertainment world. In today's top stories, Tom Hardy cast as Venom in Sony's Marvel spin-off movie. Wonder Woman first reactions are here, and some intriguing new details about Marvel and Netflix's super team-up series, The Defenders. But first, we've got to talk about this news out of Sony. Easily the biggest story of the day, as Tom Hardy has been cast as maybe the most iconic Spider-Man villain of all time, Venom. Has anyone checked on Topher Grace yet? That's right, Tom Hardy is going to be playing Eddie Brock, who's getting his own spin-off movie from Sony with Zombieland director Ruben Fleischer at the helm. The casting is bananas. It's so good. It's one of those that is just so perfect, you wonder why you didn't think about it before, and you kind of kick yourself a little bit, which is definitely what I'm doing right now. The movie, which is set to come out in October of 2018, just under a year and a half away, has kind of been eyed cautiously, anxiously maybe, by fans and critics alike, because we have way more questions than answers right now about the project and what's going on behind the scenes at Sony right now. Of course, the question on everyone's minds with Spider-Man Homecoming hitting theaters in just a month and a half is just how distinct and separate are these two universes gonna be? The Marvel Cinematic Universe from Disney and the Marvel Cinematic Universe from Sony. They've already said Venom will not connect to the MCU, and if it's truly 100% completely separate and it's gonna stay that way, then I guess this is the starting point for Sony's third attempt at getting the Spider-Man Cinematic Universe off the ground, and it kind of hamstrings Homecoming a little bit and the future of Spider-Man in the MCU. But I mean, who knows? Venom has become much more of an anti-hero, especially recently in the comics, so he doesn't necessarily need a Spider-Man to antagonize. He can have a standalone film on his own, but we never expected Disney and Marvel to make a deal for Spider-Man in the first place. It was kind of crazy that that happened, and it happened just a couple of years ago now. So maybe, just maybe, Sony will one day let him into the MCU. On to our next story in some exciting news. As of late last night, we have our very first reactions to Wonder Woman, and they are almost universally positive. WB's social media embargo lifted last night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, and while critics couldn't post their full reviews immediately, and they'll still have to wait about a week and a half to do so, they could give some general initial thoughts. They really aren't very good initial reactions, and so I figured for this video, kind of like I used to do back in the day with these HNNs, I'd run through some quick tweets from top critics and try to put together a very general consensus based on these initial impressions. Collider Frosty Steve Weintraub himself writes, "Happy to report Wonder Woman is a blast, and at Gal Gadot is fantastic. Her chemistry with Chris Pine is magnetic. Absolutely recommended." Mike Ryan from Upbronx kind of echoed that thought, adding, "Loved Wonder Woman. She reminds me of Christopher Reeve's Superman. True North superhero with no angst or cynicism, which is needed right now." He also compared it to two MCU films in particular, the period drama aspect of Captain America the First Avenger with the fish out of water approach from the first Thor movie, which is something I've seen a lot of people from around the entertainment industry comparing it to. Finally, El Maibe chimed in too, saying, "Hashtag Wonder Woman is hands down the best DCEU film to date. Film is so good. I absolutely loved it. Bravo at Patty Jenks, at Gal Gadot, at Jeff Johns." That's not to say all the reviews were 100% positive, though. I've seen a lot of people point out third act issues, like Collider's Perry Nemiroff, who wrote, "Can't say I loved all of Wonder Woman, but there's a ton of great stuff, especially Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, and Themyscira. Pacing is a problem in the second half, but charisma and chemistry and emphasis on hope and heart left me eager for another watch. Hashtag Wonder Woman." Overall, the consensus seems to be really good, though. A lot of people call it the best DCEU film to date, and while there might be some third act problems, generally across the board people agree it's a very endearing and funny movie with a lot of heart. Let us know your thoughts on the reactions, and if you were lucky enough to grab tickets to a fan screening next Wednesday. Will from the Marvelite Podcast and I managed to grab tickets to the Raleigh screening, so if you're in the area and you have tickets to that screening, come by, say hey, we'd love to see some of you there. But on to our last story of the day, we have some interesting new details about Marvel and Netflix's The Defenders, including when the show takes place and the return of a notable villain for two of the characters. The culmination of all of their superhero shows hits the streaming service on August 18th, and we're slowly but surely starting to learn more about the crossover. We know Elektra's gonna return. It looks like the Hand are kind of the main baddies of the series, and somewhere involved in all that is Sigourney Weaver's Alexandra, just kind of floating around in the villainous mix. Well, another major Hand figure is gonna be involved in this series, one that Iron Fist and Daredevil have some experience with, Madame Gao. Specifically, this news comes to us from someone that would kind of know. Luke Cage himself, Mike Coulter. At a panel at Comicpalooza in Houston last week, Coulter and his comic book partner Iron Fist, played by Finn Jones, fielded a question from the moderator that might have tripped Coulter up just a little bit. When asked which characters would appear in the series, a question that morphed into which characters we saw in the trailer thanks to Marvel snipers, Coulter revealed the previously classified info after a fan in the crowd shouted out Gao's name. That confused a ton of people, myself included, because we actually didn't see Gao outright in the trailer. What we did see, though, was our heroes thrown back by some kind of mystical force, something that we've only ever seen Gao do in the Netflix verse. From the same panel, we also learned some less spoilery information from Finn Jones, that the show takes place entirely over a really short period of time. That's right, 8 episodes jammed into just 2 days, maybe 3, give or take 24 hours, but Jones clarified that breakneck pace was really kind of intended to hammer home to the fans. These are people that might not have wanted to team up on their own, but they kind of had to. That should hopefully solve the pacing problem, though. Hopefully. Let us know what you thought of all of our stories today in the comment section down below, but that's going to do it for me here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and for even more news, reviews, and interviews, be sure to check out our website, www.hybridnetworkyt.com. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.